Penguin, Pain and Prejudice #1, written by Greg Hurwitz, art by Szymon Kudranski. How did this book get greenlit? We need a mini series about a B tier Batman villain. That'll do it. Surprisingly though, I actually kind of like it. So we open up. It is literally the moment of Penguin's birth. He's being handed off to his mother, saying how he's such a beautiful boy, and then his father wants to take a look, and we see that he already has like the long hook nose that Penguin is known for. It's especially disconcerting on the face of a newborn baby, but hey, whatever. And it looks like his father literally drops him on his head. So that can already explain quite a bit. Then we see a little shortly afterwards where his mother and his father, he looks to be maybe about a year old, and his mother and his father are in bed. He's sleeping in the bed with them, and they're sleeping in the bed. Wink, wink. And the whole time he's monologuing about, some things, you're born with, they define you, they shape you, they set you on a collision course with your future, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to modern day. And Penguin says that because of all this, he is feared. He's respected not because he's rugged or tall, but because he's mean. It explains how things work at the Iceberg Lounge, how the waitresses aren't allowed to look him in the eye, and how there's a power dynamic that he keeps the whole charade together via money and power. And I guess a dose of fear on top of it. So it just shows like a waitress spilled a little bit of drink on his sleeve, and the waitress is immediately like removed. Some dude in the club bumped into him, and without seeing who it was, he's like, "Watch where you go, and you short little." And then he sees it's Penguin, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't. You And Penguin's like, no, it's fine, no big deal." And he turns to his partner, and he's like, "Get him later." So then they start talking about this necklace that they want. And we see that the necklace is currently in possession of some other person, aka being worn by this old woman. And Penguin's goons come out. They shoot all of her bodyguards, I suppose, and try to get the necklace off. But it's reinforced around her neck, so they just behead her. We had another flashback to him as a child, him being mercilessly mocked by just everyone around him. His siblings don't want to play with him. All the schoolyard kids are just bullying him. He found solace in the local birds, basically. He found they were cute, and he sat in a tree just watching a nest of eggs. But even then, at a certain point, bullies found him and his nest and just broke all the eggs over his head. There's one panel in here where they're mocking him while he's on the toilet, saying, "Looks like the penguin's laying an egg." He had a rough childhood. He had a very rough childhood. But basically the whole thing is just equating to how penguins, when provoked, their attacks are swift and decisive, and therefore so will his. We cut back to the modern day. He's in this super back alley dark market where it's like, okay, here's some illegal animal trade. Here's some human trafficking. Here's illegal cars and drugs and stuff like that. And he can just have his pick of whatever he wants. One guy says like, "Oh, how about some rhino horn? It gives the men extra vigor." And Penguin's like, "Why would I need that?" He's like, "Oh, I wasn't implying it's But it turns out that he wanted the necklace, which he got, mind you, still covered in some blood. He wanted the necklace for his mother, who I'm pretty sure is dead. But he's wheeling her around like it's always kept in shadow. We don't see her face. It's full on spoilers for Psycho. And I'm a little bit concerned about it when we get the reveal on that. We haven't gotten it yet, but I'm concerned. Anyway, it goes back to the dude who bumped into Penguin at the bar, and he's like, "Oh, I would never be rude to someone of your stature." And he's just afraid that he's going to be hurt by Penguin. And Penguin's like, "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you." Here's what's happening. Your boss just discovered you embezzled a whole bunch of funds. The woman that lives underneath you died because you left your oven on. Your parents just went over a cliff because the brake lines were clipped, despite the fact you were the one who did the tune-up on their car recently. And your wife, your dear sweet wife, she just got pricked by an infected needle. Infected with what? Well, I'm not going to tell you that. So we're done here. And don't worry, I didn't hurt you. So Penguin's kind of, awful. Get back into the iceberg lounge. He's talking with some goons, and then who comes crashing in through the roof but Batman? And I really like the way they do it. They never actually show his face. It's always just like a boot or the cape, or at the very end, just the symbol of Batman. And Batman just tells Penguin, got a minute? I like it. I really like the art. I think that's the best thing about it. It's super dark, super gothic. It really fits the character and the tone of the story well. I'm not sure where the story's going yet. It's obvious that, Penguin is just being a total dick. Like, it's setting up his power right now, and I feel like the next issue is going to set up what the actual arc is. But I really like the art, and I really like how they're playing with the character. It's a tragic backstory, but he's still irredeemable. It's not like this makes him any better. He's still just awful. So no, I'm gonna give this a 7.5. It's very good. It's very well done. Very solid read. I would suggest if you can find this somewhere, maybe if you're subscribed to the DC Universe service and this is provided on there, give it a read through. It might honestly be something that you're interested in. We'll see what happens in issue 2, but issue 1 at least, I never thought I'd be interested in a Penguin miniseries, but hey, here we are.